Hello and welcome to the festive video. My name is Valentina. I live in London with Ponyo and my husband, and I am probably better known on Instagram with my ivory room. Welcome to my first video. I mean, it's not the first. I've recorded, I think, throughout 2025, I think I've recorded 5 or 6 times, and none of these videos have ever been shared. We'll see what will become of these. It's very difficult. I'm very self-aware of my accent, so I don't know what will be the post-processing of this video, if I will ever share or not, but let's try and start. Welcome to my festive video. At the beginning, when I was planning all these, I thought, okay, I'm gonna create 4 vlogs, each for every Advent Sunday, and share them every week. But here we are, the second Advent Sunday has gone, and I'm still recording or trying to understand what I want to do. So yeah, I don't know. Welcome to my festive videos. I will share what I will do during these holiday times. Actually, before the holidays, I'm not gonna go back to my family this year. So yeah, it will be just me, my husband, and the little dog here, the little beast. And yeah. So today I wanna talk. I'm not wearing any knitting because outside is 14 degrees. It's very warm and humid, and I cannot bear the idea of any knitting on me. But I'm sharing. I'm gonna share what I've been working on or what I've been finishing up these couple of, probably a month or so. Ponyo, vieni qua. Vieni. So the first finished object is one I'm very proud of, and one I've been very scared of for many years. Probably since the release, because somehow the stitch, and I mean, I don't know, I was intimidated by the stitch. The first one is half finished, I would say. Is called, I don't know, it's called Viveka cardigan or Viveka cardigan, and it's all over brioche cardigan, and it's a pattern from My Favorite Things knitwear. She did in collaboration with the Ayalu Danish brand, and I think it's beautiful. It's so beautiful and squishy. I made this one out of Yellholt. Ponyo, stop. So I used this yarn in color Lis Brune, so light brown, together with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in color Bark. And I love this combination. It's very warm, but because this pattern is done on 6mm needles, it's also very airy and light, so I don't have the feeling of wearing something too bulky on me. So it's a very nice sensation, and I really love this yarn. It's I don't know, the yarn, the pattern, the stitch, everything lines up very well. And yeah, it's half finished because it's missing the pockets, and I have to wind up this yarn and just knit up 2 little squares. But apart from that, is finished, and it's beautiful. I can't wait to block it and wear it. Yeah, I mean, when I think I am more of a cable knitter than a structured stitch. I don't know how to call these half fisherman's rib or half brioche kind of stitches, but it's something that it confuses me so much. When I started the pattern, I went online on YouTube to look out for tutorials, because somehow my head couldn't work out the description on the in the pattern with what I have to do, what I had to do with my hands. I couldn't put these together. So I went online and looked for some tutorials. But when I went for the half fisherman's rib tutorial, they basically were showing me videos where people, you know, you have to knit one row and then you do purl and knit in the stitch below on the second row. So I was confused because the instructions here were completely different. But then I went for half brioche tutorial and somehow this kind of stitch came up. So I'm not sure what's the correct name. But yeah, after watching that video, I started the back increases and everything, and I found this stitch to be very addictive, but also very quick to do, probably because of the size of the needles and the gauge and everything. But it's, I mean, I finished the back probably in a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. Then I put the back aside because I had other projects to finish, and after taking up the back again, I mean, I didn't realize I was knitting the body and I was doing the ribbing and I was doing the Italian bind off and everything. I mean, the cardigan was done in probably a couple of weeks in total. So it was a very quick and unexpectedly quick and addictive knitting. Also, the instructions, they don't recommend you to do the Italian bind off with the 2 setup rows of double knitting, but they just say do the tubular bind off because due to the thickness of the yarn, it will be too bulky with the 2 double knitting rows. But the thing is, I wasn't using the recommended yarn, and I do really like to do the double knitting kind of set up rows, so I did that, and then I did the Italian bind off consequently. But yeah, apart from that, I think I had to redo the button band twice because on the first time the first section, the buttons, I was working too loosely. I don't know, probably 5.5mm needles on the double knitting button band for me was too large. Second time around, I used the same needle size. I was just tighten up the yarn a bit more and everything went well. So yeah, I need to just attach buttons, knit those 2 little pockets and ready for bath and then wearing. I can't wait. It's such a lovely piece. I think I'm gonna make another one at some point next year because I think I need 2 viveka cardigans now. So yeah, that's the first one. And then I think this past weekend, I also finished the Nabi slipover by Knit. This is also, this is called half fisherman's rib kind of stitch. So I don't know, the finished appearance, the finished look of this one is also, it's very similar to the Viveka cardigan, so I suppose it's just 2 different ways of calling the same stitch, I think. So yeah, I really love this piece. This is done top down in 3 kind of pieces at the beginning, and then you join them all in the round and knit the body. So first you cast on the collar and knit in the round, and then you work, I think, some like, I don't know, 10-12 increases for the yoke. No, but I think, no, what you will have to do is after knitting the collar, you will have to create this flap here. So you have to pick up stitches below the 1 row of stitches you have for the front, cast on, pick up those stitches and then join in the round and make those shoulder increases, and then you separate the back, the front left and the front right, and work them separately flat until you reach the armhole depth, and then you join in the round. And there are also decreases here, 3 decreases and decreases here and here, and then when you're happy with the length, you bind off and block it. There are also two sets of German short rows, no, probably even three. I mean, it's amazing. I really love, and I think they're done to reach a beautiful fit where you don't have any kind of annoying fabric here on the back. I don't know. There are German short rows to shape the back, this area here and this area here. And there are also German short rows on the two fronts as well. So I think the fit is going to be a very nice one. For this project, I used the recommended yarn Alpaca 3 in the color 43, I think. It's the olive green. Yeah, it's the olive green color. And for my size, I made size 1. And for my size, they recommended seven skeins of yarn, but I only had 6 in the shop. And I was like, this is such a lovely color. I want to use it for something. And then I thought, oh, the nabi slipover is done in this yarn alone. It's also on 6mm needles, so it was a very... So this project wasn't really super quick because the yarn is very elastic, and somehow you have to tension the yarn with the needles. Like, you cannot really pull the yarn too much and make it super thin, because otherwise the stitch and the gauge is not gonna be the same. But I mean, when I was into the project and I was working on it, I didn't really realize my hands were tensioning the yarn together with the needles in a very how can you say that, like, it was just going very naturally. I don't know how to, it was flowing very easily. But it's not a very quick project, because you have to knit 3 portions of yoke and then join together, and then somehow I think this kind of stitch is done when you knit 1 row and then you purl and knit in the stitch below. So I found these to be slightly slower than the Viveka cardigan, where you have to do yarn overs and knit and purls. And I think that with the yarn over technique, I think the stitches, it's very quickly to work. To be honest, I don't really care about how slow or how fast I do my knitting. I just knit, and I do enjoy the knitting so much that I completely forget about sharing what I'm making, or I don't time myself. I just knit. I knit until the piece is done. I knit every second I've got free during the day, and I do have lots of time to knit because I don't have children. My flat is very easy to care after, so I work at the shop just 3 days a week, so I have free time, and during those free days I knit whenever I can. So, but at the same time, I don't set myself for goals of I have to finish this in a week, or I have to finish this for whatever. I just do the things. I'm also very mental, so when I have a project on my needles, I want to finish it because I want to wear it, or I become so addicted with the stitch I'm making, or the color work, or the cables I'm doing, that I'm just like, I want to knit more of these, and somehow I end up finishing things pretty quickly, 2 to 3 weeks. But it's really not my objective to have something done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I do enjoy knitting. It calms me down, it relaxes me, and I do it just for that, and because I love what I'm making, and I love the yarn and the wool and the high quality products that I'm using. Back to nabi slipover. As I said, I am okay, so I had just 6 skeins, so I decided to do it anyways, because I always have leftovers, so I wasn't very worried about yarn chicken, which I hate. I don't do that kind of game. And but I was like, I think it will be enough. To be honest, this will probably be, my aim was to have the same kind of length of the pictures that the designer is showing, but I think I will end up with a slightly cropped fit. It will still be a very oversized garment because it is oversized, but in terms of length, I would have loved to have more, but it's fine. So long story short, I used all 6 balls for these, all 6 skeins of yarn. And what I did was, when I was almost finished with the 3rd increase on the side, I decided to start the German short rows for the back, to lengthen the back a bit more. And because I was like, okay, I don't think I will be able to do the German short rows after finishing the decreases on the front. So I did those, and then I went back to the front. You know, you kind of, you knit the German short rows and you do them, and then you have to knit all the stitches. I did that, and then I continued decreasing for the front until I was happy, and then I went for the 2 setup rows and the Italian bind off. And long story short, my yarn was perfect in terms of, I was able to use up all the yarn. I would have loved to have the 7th skein. So if you are thinking of making these, I would recommend you to get the recommended quantity, because I think it's spot on. Usually, as I said, I always end up with leftover one skein for sure, because I have to crop everything, because I'm not that tall and I have to shorten the sleeves and the body. I don't usually follow those measurements, the measurements of the pattern for length, because I have to do things on my height. Unfortunately, I've becoming so aware of how short I am lately that it's bothering me, because yes, you can work on your, like, if you want to be thinner or whatever, but height is not something that you can work on. I mean, it's that, and you have to accept your, you know, how short or tall you are. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, it's bothering me, but in the end I will have to accept my shortness. So this is the other finished object, and this was also done during the weekend, but I think I started these the 2nd week of November, so probably 1 month, and I was working on these mostly during my shop opening times. So I mean, there were days where I was knitting on these much more than other days. Now, my pride and joy, and something I am very attached to, is the finished Dagmar jacket. I really, really love this one. And I'm like, why I haven't worked on these as soon as the pattern was released? I don't know. I love cables. I love cables more than those structured stitches that, like, half fisherman's rib or brioche or half brioche. I don't really like those because I get confused. Now that I've done 2 garments with 2 different techniques, I'm probably a bit more, how do you say that? I'm probably a bit more, I enjoy them a bit more, but I will be a cable girl through and through, because I think cables are just very easy and easier than those kind of stitches, mainly because you have your work there and you see when you have to twist and do the cables. Whereas with the other kind of stitches, if I'm in my own head so much when I knit that sometimes it's really hard to say, oh, okay, I have to knit the whole row, or okay, I have to knit and purl in the row below. This was my this was my understanding before doing those two projects. Now I'm like, okay, no, it's not that bad. I can be in my own head, I can think about my own things and still be aware of what I'm doing or what I have to do in the next row or round. And I realize it's not that bad either. So, but I still do enjoy cables so much. For dagmar, I used the yellow triple yarn because that yarn was for another project. I had started on knitting on the Skull Studios cardigan knit sweater, but in the end I decided to frog everything because the finished object was becoming ginormous for me, and I didn't like how big and just long and large it was, so I decided to frog. I was doing the neckline and I decided, okay, I don't like these, I don't want to continue, so I frogged, and while frogging I decided to knit dagmar jacket. I have another color that was destined for the jacket, but it will be a sweater, a dagmar sweater in the future, because I was already using the white triple, and I was like, what am I gonna do with all this yarn? I don't wanna wind it up and put it in skein and leave it there. So I decided that while I was frogging, I was also knitting on dagmar. And dagmar was one of the best knitting experience I've ever had. First of all, because the cables are very, very addictive in terms of I want to see more, I want to do more, I want to twist more. And second of all, because it's such a well-written pattern that I think I didn't follow any chart or writing sections in the whole project. Because once you have your knitting, like once you have your cables set up, and once you know all the increases that you have to do, it's very visual. So I was just looking at my work and I was knitting. And yeah, here again, I didn't plan to finish dagmar in probably 1 month. My idea was, okay, I will start knitting on dagmar, but I know that because there are so many cables on this project, I will not be finishing, and I will not care to finish these in 1 month or in 2 weeks. I want to wear dagmar in winter, so I'm gonna work during the autumn months to be able to have this project done for Christmas, so that I can wear the jacket throughout the holidays and winter time. But here again, I started working on this and somehow I finished in probably 1 month. Also, at the beginning, I wasn't friend with the yarn. I actually didn't really like that much the yarn, because I found it was too thick for the 4.5mm needles, and when you have to do the honeycomb cable, it was really annoying on that specific cable. But then, and this was just while I was knitting the first 10 rows of the back. After that, I was like, okay, I can see why she's using 4.5, these Aran weight yarn, this specific yarn with this project and cables. And after that, it was love at first sight, sorry. And after finishing, even the ribbing on 3.5 was just amazing. And after finishing the whole project, I was like, okay, I am missing dagmar already, I want to make another one. Jacket, or I will probably make the zipper, which is gonna be my first ever zipper sweater of my life. And I'm a bit scared of the zipper section because I'm not precise when it comes to the sewing part. Like when I have to sew the buttons, or in this case it will be the zipper, it will probably be a shock for me because I'm not very precise and very meticulous in the job. I don't know, I will have to check out on YouTube for people who have done Dagmar zipper sweater, and probably I will have to watch the tutorials she provides on her website. Luckily she does that. So yeah, I'm a bit scared, but I'm not scared enough that I don't want to start that project. I do really love those cables, and I will probably even make the other like the crew neck sweater, and I will probably force my husband to like the yarn and like Dagmar enough that he can wear a Dagmar sweaters as well, because I want to knit more Dagmars. That's basically the thing. What I have to say, oh yes, I decided to knit size small, even though I should have done the extra small, and the extra small was perfectly enough positive ease that she recommends, but I do really like to have very roomy and big garments, so I decided to do the small, and I'm so happy about the fit as well. I have probably 42 centimeters of positive ease with the small, but I do still love the fit. And I was also, while I was taking pictures and also while I was wearing Dagmar jacket, I also realized that for the sweater I would probably go a bit longer in terms of body. The sleeves are perfect, probably a tad long, but that's the story of my life with sleeves. But for the body, I think I will go slightly longer, because for the zipper sweater I want to have a big cozy long jumper to wear on cold days, which unfortunately we don't have much here in the UK. Lately we're not having these cold winters where I'll be needing to wear a big sweater and an outer layer, so it will probably be my outer layer. I don't know, we'll see. I hope for colder days, but we'll have to see. Sorry. Yeah, so plans wise, I cannot be trusted with knitting plans, or mainly knitting plans, because my brain works in a very different way in terms of planning and knitting. I can get very obsessed with new releases that sometimes I do forget about my plans. And this was the case for December and November as well. I mean, I had all my plans already done, and I was like, okay, I will finish Dagmar, I will knit whatever. But in the end, releases came up and I started projects, and I didn't knit on my plans. But I have one plan which is well defined and something that I really want to make, which is the new Ava jacket by my favorite things knitwear for the Isair Archives 2, mainly because I'm obsessed with what she makes. I love her style, and I do really relate on that kind of minimalistic kind of style. I don't know, I do like what she creates, and I do love Ava jacket so much that I will make one for me and one for my husband in these colors. So my husband decided I'm gonna use the recommended yarn. So my husband loves the light with contrasting dark color, so he went for the alpaca 3 color 7S, the tweed color sand, and we are gonna use Twinny held double, and this is the color 54. So this is gonna be my husband combo, my husband Ava jacket. And I think I have the swatch here. This is the swatch I've done. I'm not really in love with this blue, denim blue, but he really loves it, so I think I'm gonna stick with this blue, and it's his choice, it's his jacket, so it's okay. And for me, I went with the alpaca 3 color 100 tweed navy, and Marilyn 6S, which is something I already had in stash. So I think we are gonna match, just because recently I've done so many light creamy cardigans that I said, okay, I want to have a dark cardigan as well. And before setting on these colors, I was also torn between there is a version in okay, I really loved the dark navy version I've seen from testers, but I also saw the olive green version, which is, oh my gosh, I love that. And there's also the dark brown version, which is obviously so much me. But in the end, I've decided I've got other dark browns, cardigans or sweaters on my list, or yarn in my stash in that color, that I've decided to go for a different look for once and go for navy, which is still one of my favorite colors. So this is the only plan I'm gonna stick to for the next month, because I know new things will come up and I will be obsessed and obsessing over those that I will want to work on those projects. So yeah, I think that's that. I think I want to do everything I need in 2025, but so I think I'm gonna start working on that as well during the holidays. But I don't know if this video will see the light, because I'm already seeing things that I don't like in terms of how I described the project, or what I said, or I should have said more, or things like that. So I don't know if this video will see the light. I hope it will, because I do want to. YouTube is something I really, really love. I am a huge YouTube fan. I watch YouTube every single day. And I think I hope I can be an inspiration in terms of patterns. Colors is not something I don't think I will be particularly inspiring color-wise, because I do love brown, cream, navy, and green is a new addition. Ponyo, sorry. And I don't think, I mean, color is something very personal. We are all on a different color scheme, or everyone likes different colors, which is good, because there's so much variation and so much inspiration out there already. But I hope I can be inspiring in terms of patterns that I make, or I hope I can just be a company for you if you cannot go out, if you are bedbound for a while. I don't know. One thing I want to say is that last year in March I went through surgery and I had to take the whole month off, basically, because I couldn't see people, I couldn't get out of the flat. And especially the first week after surgery, it was particularly painful, and I was bedbound for the whole week. And watching YouTube, Ponyo, vieni qua, Ponyo. And watching YouTube was very soothing for me. This video is going so badly. It kept me company, and it gave me ideas or just comfort. It was very comforting to know that I had YouTube and I could watch people doing things while I couldn't. So I hope it's not the case. I hope you're having a very healthy life and everything, and so I hope I can just be an inspiration pattern-wise. But if you are bedbound for any reason, I hope I can bring you some comfort, or just that. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a very, 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 very long time, years. And there was always this bad voice in my head saying, oh, you're not able to, your accent is awful, so people will hate your accent. I will, for sure. I know that when I'm gonna watch these, I'm gonna hate myself, I'm gonna hate my face, or I'm gonna find some kind of bad things to say. But I hope you will not be bothered by my Italian accent, and I hope you will not be bothered by my facial expressions. Yeah. So yeah, I hope I can bring you some little joy or comfort or ideas of what you can make for yourself or for your loved ones. And yeah, I wish you a lovely week ahead. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I hope you will follow me there, because I do share lots of things on there as well. Probably, yeah, I share a lot. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely day.